Good morning, and I am wanting to have a discussion today with you about hypnosis. So my name is Jennifer and I am a soul whisperer coach, and I speak from my heart and soul. I help people release negative emotion from their past that's causing them to not move forward now. That could be in the way of trauma. Sometimes it can just be not as strong as trauma, but it's just a block that they can't identify with, but it keeps showing up. And I also use in my sessions with people hypnosis. So today I wanted to just demystify hypnosis and just share with you my experiences and what I've come to learn about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So hypnosis is something that is not actually done to you, in the sense that whenever you're in some form of trance or deep relaxation, or even a mild relaxation, you're actually in a state, an altered state. And when you're in that relaxed state, you absorb so much more, you're more suggestible. So that's why hypnosis can be something that, can be very successful, opposed to it not being successful, because you will get some people who will not have success with it. I don't do hypnosis straight up with people because I believe that there are other undercurrents, strong negative events that have taken place that we actually need to heal first. And I use the hypnosis as a complementary therapy. So the effectiveness of hypnosis, like I say, it works for some people and not others. And it's like anything. You've got drugs out there that work for some people and not others. And the whole purpose of that is we live in a society where there is a plethora of so much to choose from, and that doesn't mean it's going to work for every single person. You'll notice sometimes in fine print or things that people are selling, they'll say, 9 out of 10 people or 99% people have had success with this, because there's always going to be someone who it's not going to gel with and they need to go find something else, because we're not all geared the same. We were not meant to also be the same. We are not the same, and we are not meant to all fit into the same criteria. And that's the beauty of this being human and being spiritual in these human bodies. We get to be creative, we get to explore, we get to have variety. We are not all meant to be the same, because then the world would be very boring, as you well know. So what I've found as well is, when I work with people and I've implemented the hypnotherapy, that's really more towards the end of their sessions. It's about their readiness. So I'm getting them more ready to accept being more suggestible. So, just sitting down with someone and just doing hypnotherapy only, for me, and I'm not saying this for everyone, I'm saying for me, I don't feel that would work with a client. We need to clear out the deep stuff of what's going on. And the only time I would work with someone doing that is because they have cleared a lot and they really just want some things to focus on that are good now, to bring that, that training in, that daily affirmation, that daily speaking to you. Because all you're doing is, with hypnosis, is you're getting a person into a relaxed state, and then you are feeding their unconscious and their unconscious and their conscious, information that is just positive, reaffirming. Because if you're telling yourself all day, every day, say you want to lose weight, and you're telling yourself all day, every day, I don't like my body, I feel so fat, just can't seem to lose weight. You are hypnotizing yourself. You are programming yourself daily by saying that. And it's really hard to for a lot of people to change their neurological pathway and think a little different away from that, because when they do, they get pulled in, because what happens is you group out these neurological connections, and also through your vibrational feeling, you route out really deeply and have a very strong current about not being able to lose weight, or about feeling fat, or finding it hard. That becomes your story, and you group that out quite deeply. So what you will find is that sort of going, oh, well, I'd really like to lose some weight. The person tries to branch away, but because this current is so strong and they haven't practiced the new one enough, it pulls them back. And that's where, shifting to daily conversation with yourself and changing the way you think about it constantly, pulling away from the old paradigm and the old story and the old dialogue, is where you get the change. But you've got to stick with it. And that can be very hard for a lot of people, but that is the inner work. So that's where the hypnotherapy can be complementary, because you don't have to do the work. You're just listening to it. You're listening to it consciously and unconsciously. And what I mean by that is there'll be moments where you're so relaxed, you won't even remember what you heard, sort of like going into a sleep or a trance, but it is still going in. And I'm a big proponent for suggesting that listening to it consciously a couple of times a week all the way through is important, because this is actually where we do make our changes. We are conscious living beings, and just doing things only at an unconscious level or at a subconscious level only all the time, and not being aware, in your physical day-to-day life, is that really going to change much? No, you have to be conscious. You have to have conscious change. So I remember listening to, for nearly 9 months, we're going back 20 odd years now, to a meditation, hypnosis. And I remember hearing it, and there was times where I would fall asleep, and then I'd wake up at the end, or I'd say, oh, I didn't hear that bit before, or I could hear a voice, but I didn't really know what it was saying. But it worked. But for some of that, I would listen to it fully. So then I actually knew, that part of me knew what had been said. So it does come down to your effectiveness, comes down to you being ready, your readiness to accept, your readiness to work with it, listen to it. And change, I believe, can come fast for some people. Everybody's in different places with this. But gradual change, I think, is so much more powerful, because when you're implementing gradual change, what you're getting is you're laying the foundations. You're moving along with it. It's getting stronger rather than rapid change. Now, I'm not opposed to rapid change. The person, if that happens to someone, that's because they're ready for it. But definitely daily, over time, is going to be more successful than just going and having a one-off or 3 sessions of hypnotherapy and then doing nothing. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't work. It can work. But the person has to be ready. I do like repetition. So what I do with my clients is I keep a 15, 20-minute hypnosis for them. And then they listen to it daily for a minimum of 30 days. And then after that, I would even suggest, depending on, how well you're moving, like listen first 4 to 6 weeks, and then do another 4 to 6 weeks. Even 3 months at length is not long when you're changing your belief system, because that is actually what you are doing. And you didn't get there overnight, but change can come more rapid than what has happened, meaning you would be surprised if for 10 years you had the same belief system. It doesn't take 10 years then to go and change it, okay? The change can happen sooner than what you've been stuck with. It doesn't have to stay like that. You don't have to spend 10 years again to change it. It doesn't work like that. So that's pretty much hypnosis. You know, you're not no one's doing anything to you. You know, if they're ethical, they're doing all the right things, they're putting in all the good stuff. It's really just resetting you, reprogramming you to the best of you. That's what I like to do with people. And within my hypnotherapy, I use a lot of charged words where there's strong vibrational words. So they're words that are assisting that person in the way it makes them feel, because feeling is everything. It's very powerful. There's a few little tricks there that I use that I've learned as well that help people switch their brain. There's things there that can, it's almost like it confuses the brain, but it doesn't. It switches the brain around to reframing, opening and seeing things in a different way than it had before. So hypnosis, hypnotherapy, it is very powerful. Like I said, some people have experienced just maybe 1 or 2 sessions, not with me, but with other therapists, and have had great success. But I would say that's a very small percentage of people on this planet, because they've been so ready to let go and it just worked. Like people who do quit smoking, I remember when I started, I did some of those and I had great success, and then the person just didn't work after that. So it made me realize there's a lot more change that needs to happen than just a 3-hour session, quit smoking. I mean, I used to be a smoker. If you've been smoking for 10, 15, 20 years, if you've tried nothing and then all of a sudden you're just going to do this, you're ready and you do this hypnotherapy, is that really going to work? I don't know. There's other changes and other factors there that need to start changing alongside of that for you to have that success. And if people are having that success, like I say, I think it's a very small percentage. What I love is, though, in some of those sessions where you do have just a few sessions of hypnotherapy, if you go away feeling that something's changed or shifted, then it's worked for you. But like I say, when you look at people who are having that success, that instant success, they've usually been doing something for a while. They've been at this. They've been trying to get the change. They've tried many times to stop, whether it's alcohol or smoking or whatever it is. This isn't the first time. And so what it's doing is it's just getting them more ready. And that could be the factor that works for them. And the other thing I've noticed is if you don't address the root causes, sometimes that works for people for 6 months. They stop smoking or they lose the weight or whatever the vice is that they're trying to release. 6 months or 12 months later, or even 2 years later, or even 5 years later, they just start smoking again, or they start putting the weight on. Because unless you address the emotional causes, the triggers that are showing up in your life causing you to do this behavior, then you can get triggered. If you haven't made peace with it, you can get triggered in 6 months or 12 months or a year or 2 or whatever it is. So although hypnosis is very powerful, I feel it needs to be used in conjunction as complementary to have great success. Like anything, you don't just do one thing in life. If you want health, you don't just exercise. You look at what you eat, you look at your mindset, you look at your feelings, you look at, emotionally what's going on around you. There's many factors to well-being. It's not just one answer. So I hope this has been helpful. And if you would like to reach out to me, you can find me at Jennifer Soul Whisperer Coach. And I'll pop some links in there for you. And big soul love from me. Bye for now.